Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. So this is the part 2 of the DevOps project we are trying to implement. So in today's video we are going to code the whole project from scratch, and then in the next video we are going to implement the Docker files and all the deployment related parts. So I have opened this folder. Let's start with the requirements.txt file. So I will be using these requirements for this project, Flask 2.3.3, as this is the Flask application. Unicorn, we're going to use Pillow for handling images, requests for using APIs from the remove bg. We'll talk about this later. And python.env for the environment variables. So let's make another file called as app.py. So what will be our structure? So first of all, we'll make the app.py and then we'll make the templates. Before app.py, we are going to make virtual environment. So virtual environment will be made in order for the isolation of our whole project. We'll containerize this project later on in the videos, but for now we are going to use virtual environment. So for virtual environments in the MacBook, because I'm using Mac OS, you write like this. There's a separate command for Windows OS, so I'll also pin that in the description down below. So virtual environment folder is created. Now to activate this folder, let's go into the bin directory and then activate. So this is the bin directory and we have to activate this file in order to use the virtual environment. So let's write this command: source venv /bin/activate. So as you can see here, our virtual environment is activated. Now we are just going to install the requirements.txt. So these were the requirements.txt right here, and now we are going to install these. So for this we are going to write the command pip3 install. So this is going to install the requirements.txt in our virtual environment. Remember, you have to install and download the requirements inside the virtual environment to avoid dependency issues. Now we are going to clear our tab. Now we will come back to the app.py, close this requirements.txt and start writing the code. So first of all, I have to import Flask and related libraries. So now we are going to import requests module. These libraries are imported. Let's see on the first line now. We used import Flask and all these libraries from the Flask. So basically our application is a web application entirely based on Flask web application. That's why we are importing Flask. Render template is imported for handling HTML files being linked with this Flask application. Request will get the request to the HTML file. Send file will be used in the later video for the file pre-processing and all that stuff. Image file pre-processing. Redirect URL for, there's a comma right here, so redirect will directly redirect our images towards the web application, and URL for will be handling the URLs. Requests library is imported for handling the requests for web application. IO and bytes IO is used for image handling. Request is used for importing the image, and logging is used for showing us logs right here in the terminal, and env is used for handling the environment variables. So firstly, what we are going to do is that we are going to initialize load.env so that our web application knows that it is taking the environment variables from a .env file right here, which we are going to make later on. So initialize the web app. So we are going to import the secret key from Flask. So this is the code that you have to write for this. We are importing the secret key from the Flask application, and for the secret key we are going to get from the environment variable with a variable named as secret key and default secret key. Both of these secret keys will be used in the later on. Initialize and define the logging variable. Alright. So we are going to define the maximum content length of our image, that is 10 MB. So we are going to say that our maximum image file will be 10 MB max. So that's the configuration that we have to set. Now we are going to define a variable named as pics extensions allowed. I will define JPG, PNG, and JPEG. So these are the three images that a user can enter inside the web application. So we are going to define two more variables right here. These are the API key that we are going to use for the removal of the backgrounds in the images uploaded. So first one is remove BG API key, and the second one is remove BG API URL. How to get these? So in order to get these for yourself, what you have to do is that you have to come on to the remove BG website. So I have opened up the browser right here, and I will just say remove BG developer API. You have to write this thing right here, so it will give us remove BG API documentation, and from here you have to select Python. Now you have to copy this URL right here, and you have to just paste inside the API URL. For the API key, you have to log in here. So I will sign up right here with a Google account. And API and integrations. So here you have to create your own API key. It's available on this URL. So new API key, and I will just say for video tutorial. So create an API key. So here it's giving you an API key right here. You have to just copy from here and paste it right here, and we have the two most important things that we needed. So next on, we have to define this function right here, file allowed. So what this function will do is it will check the file extensions from this variable right here, and it will see if the image is in JPG format or PNG format or JPEG format. So this is the function defined here. So I have to define a decorator right here, app.route, and inside this route we have to define our basically URL route, and then we have to define another thing named as method. So for method, we are taking into account two methods, get and post methods. So why these two methods? Get method will be used for getting the image, like you upload the image inside the web browser, and the post will be used for processing the image and post processing for the background removals. Our routes are defined now. Now we have to define a function named as upload image. So upload image will be responsible for processing and uploading all the images. So here we are going to say if request dot method equals to post. Inside this we are going to define a condition right here. So according to this condition, if our file is not in the request files, like if we have uploaded a file and it is not present inside the request, so it will flash us with a new file part in the request, and after that it will redirect us to enter and process the request.url again. After this, we are going to define here a file. What it does is that it assigns the image file that we present to the web application inside this variable named as file. We are going to add here an other condition that checks if our image is in PNG format, JPG format or JPEG format. After that, we'll put an other condition right here that says if our file name is empty. Basically, this condition depicts that if we haven't uploaded any image file, so this condition will run. After checking all of these conditions right here, if all of these conditions do not pass, like if we have entered a correct image file that is less than 10 MBs and it is in these specific formats right here, then we are going to enter this try cache block for error handling. So now the main operations of our application begin. So we are going to define a response right here, request.post and inside this we are going to pass some parameters right here. So first of all, remove bg api url. So we are going to pass this api url. So our image background remover redirects to this following link, and after the redirection we pass the image file in the form of file stream. So what file stream does is that it ensures that we have entered the correct image format, and then the data size equals to auto, and then the x api key. This is the format that is given inside the website, and inside it we are going to pass our background image api key that we got from our account. After that we are going to define a condition right here. Let's say if our response.status code is okay, like if everything has went well, then we are going to define that image io variable, and we are going to pass the response.content. Remember, this response.content has the image inside it, and we are going to pass it inside the bytes io library right here, so that it processes the image according to the python format. After this we are going to define this image io.seek 0, and after that we are going to return the send file, so that it sends the file to the post method. We are going to define the else statement right here. In the else statement, everything that can go wrong is written right here. After this we will say accept exception as e, and after that we are going to define the logging error that can come. Now we are going to return the render response right here. Remember that the render template is index.html. So our front end will be inside this file index.html, and the Flask application will directly hit the index.html as front end, the main function right here, and app.run in order to run this Flask application. So host equals to localhost, debug statement equals to false, and the port number that we want to redirect is 5100. Now moving back to the app.secret key, we are just going to comment this out, as we are going to talk about the environment variables in the next videos. So just we are going to define our app.secret key equals to, so our secret can be any sort of string. So I can write any string, testing string, anything like that. This can be any sort of string. We haven't created the template folder yet, so we are going to create it, templates, and inside the templates we are going to create index.html. The thing is that here we are calling index.html from the render template, so we have to define this index.html. So I have already done this code of index.html, as this is a python and deployment project, so we are not going to focus on index or html css. So you can copy and paste the index.html from the description down below from the github repo. So let's try to rerun it. Let's clear the terminal and let's try to rerun this. So this is our application right here. We have managed to run the code, and we have also added dark and light mode here. Let's see if we can remove any background from the images right here. As you can see there, you get beautiful preview of the image, and if you hit remove background, there's a processing down here, and there's an image right here, and you can also download this image. So this is the background removed image. You can also change the color of the background as black and any other color. So it's a really interesting project, and in the next video we are going to see the deployment side, the Docker and all the DevOps side in the next video. So that's it for the today's video, guys. If you have any sort of confusion, don't forget to mention in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.